great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion. Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 861 of the Immigration Answer Show. Today is Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. I'm an immigration lawyer, and we practice law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, Washington, D.C., and Chicago, Illinois. How's everybody doing? Oh, you's in Colorado Springs, not too far. I'm up in Boulder. How about that? Had a great time at dinner last night with a good friend from high school. Yusuf came with us. We had a nice time. How are you guys doing? Did you do anything fun last night? Like I said, I'll be here for the next hour answering questions on TikTok by text and by people in the waiting room here on YouTube. How are you guys doing? What are you guys going to do this week? Do you have any good plans? It's nice here. It's pretty in Boulder. Hopefully it'll be nice on the 4th of July. We're looking forward to that. Softball starts tomorrow. I say hello to everybody watching in the comments, and I appreciate all of you supporting the show. I'm going to start with Sharon, then Alex, then Anonymous, then interview scheduled. So let me go ahead and take, I moved Sharon to the waiting room by mistake. Let me undo that. Sharon, everybody, if you're in the waiting room if you're waiting to talk to me, please try not to have your last name on the show because we don't want to identify people. I will put Sharon back in the waiting room and bring Sharon up. Hello.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So yeah, my story is a little bit also lessons for everybody not to trust people. Um, 17 years ago, I got my green card through marriage. One of a friend of friend was my co-signer, sponsor, and I finally filed for my citizenship. And apparently, this guy sponsored like 17 people, and he didn't put the number of the people that he sponsored on my I-864 or the form. So at this point, the immigration is accusing me of like fraud documentation and misrepresentation, although I had no idea that this guy signed for like so many people, that it might be a scam. Like I had no idea back then because I was kind of like new to United States. I barely know people. It was very hard for me to find someone that was willing to sign for me, and I was actually told that he was very like trustable and godly, and he told me like he's from the church and he wants to help people. And now at this moment, I do have my 10 years green card that they just renew before while I was on my citizenship process. However, I have the fraud allegation on my case, which prevent me now from like flying out. They didn't issue no NTA, and whoever any I actually did appeal. They didn't accept my appeal. They said they still convinced that I obtained my green card through fraud because they told me that they actually was not supposed to give me the green card like 15 years ago, but they actually did. And if they notified me over there that this guy is not eligible, I would like, withdraw or find someone else. And I did explain it to them. So now I'm kind of like in a limbo of this horrible situation.
When did your N400 get denied?
So it was getting denied like twice. One, they said that through COVID, they said that they sent me an invitation to come to a second interview. I never received it.
Mhm.
And the second time I filed again because I thought like it was kind of like a mistake. And like I think, yeah, it was like 6 months ago that they denied my citizenship.
So 6 months ago would put us around January.
Uh, yeah, it was. No, I'm sorry. It was before that. My entry, my appeal was on last October.
Okay. So in other words, all of this happened before Donald Trump even got into office.
Yeah, it was between. Yes.
So I think it's very unfortunate that this happened to you. How did you meet the co-sponsor?
So it was a friend of a friend. That we just like asked like a lot of people like, hey, do you mind to sign? This is the situation. When I got married, I didn't even know that I need a co-sponsor. But when I actually went to file, I figured out that I do need a co-sponsor, and I asked a lot of people, and just a friend of ours said like, oh, I know this guy,
Mhm.
and
Did you pay the co-sponsor to be your co-sponsor?
no, I did not.
Yeah.
I was actually signed for like someone else when I was like as a favor back. Like, I was kind of like, oh, someone help me, let me help someone else. Um,
Okay,
yeah.
so I think you're right. I think you are in limbo. I think you're lucky that it's all happened last year and not this year. If it happened now, I think you'd get a notice to appear. I don't think they're going back to look at denial notices from 2024 to see if there's people that they can give notices to appear to, but I do think they might come after your green card.
Oh,
And I
okay.
definitely agree with you that you shouldn't leave the United States anytime soon.
hmm There is
So
any like a waiver that I can actually
no
submit?
waivers, no waivers for naturalization. No
No.
waivers are only for adjustment. So now, if you get put into removal and they try to
hmm
deport you, you might be able to get a waiver. But as far as you should not remind them that you're here until there's a new president or
Yeah,
new approach at immigration.
I understand. Okay.
Thanks, Sharon. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Bye bye. All right, let's go to Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hello, Jim. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you great.
Sure. Thank you for having me. So I'm gonna dive right into it. I'm gonna have somewhat a lot of dates, so please bear with me.
Okay.
So I came here in a May '07 as a J1 visitor. I believe I was not a subject to 2-year rule or whatever it says on the visa.
Yeah.
I overstayed my visa. And I did apply for the B2 status or B1 status, and I got denied because I moved, and when the approval came, I already did not live at that address, so it got denied. So in May of '09, 2 years later, I got put in a detention and a removal proceedings. So I pursue a defensive asylum case, and due to the 1 year filing deadline, I was approved only with withholding of removal.
Okay.
At November of 2010, prior receiving the asylum, I got married to my back then girlfriend, and then I got the asylum. Then in April of 2013, we got divorced and we went our separate ways. So my then ex, she got remarried about a year after splitting up with me, and she got a green card and she got the citizenship and all that. She got the citizenship, I think, in like 2017 or something. But in 2020, we got back together. After we got back together, about a year later, we had a son, and in 2023, we got married. So now she filed I-130 for me. We got plenty of evidence, like with accounts, insurance. We got properties. Obviously, we have a kid. So we do have a lawyer already. I just want to hear a second opinion. What are potential pitfalls here, and how is the overall case looking to you? How hard would it be to get I-130 at least approved? And then I understand we need to reopen my case, go to the Office of Immigration Review and all that, but I'm not, right now I'm bored about the I-130. I just want to hear your opinion on this.
What country are you from?
Russia.
What was the point of your J1 visa? What did you come here to do?
J1 exchange visitor, it says.
I know, but was it work and travel, or were you getting your
Yes.
PhD? Work and
No.
travel.
Yes.
And do you still have a copy of your DS 2019 or your visa?
I do have a copy of the visa. I might be able to find 2019. I'm not sure about 2019 though, but I do have an old visa.
And on the visa, it says you're not subject to Rule 212E?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Now, when you married your spouse the first time, what was her immigration status at that point?
I believe she was F1. Well, she entered as the J1 as well. Then
From Russia?
Yes, correct.
Did you know her? Did you know her in Russia?
No, I did not.
Did she come before?
Then
after
she.
you?
I'm sorry.
Did she come before or after you?
Well, in 2007, we came not together, but around same time into the same place, and that's where we first met. Then she went back to Russia, and I stayed. And then she came back in 2009.
So when she came back in 2009, she already knew you?
Well, she knew me from 2007, so we were kind of talking a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. When she came in 2009, did she come live in the city that you were living in?
Yes.
Okay. Are you from different towns in Russia or the same town in Russia?
Different towns.
Okay. But you did not know her before you got to the United States?
That's correct.
Okay. How long were you and she married the first time?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. How long were you and she married the first time?
How long me and her were together when she married the first time? I'm sorry.
Sure. So you've been married to her twice, right?
Correct.
How long was the first marriage? How long did it last? When did
well, my first marriage, let's see, we got married in November 2010, and we got officially divorced in April 13th, so say 2.5 years.
And how long after April 2013 did she marry the U.S. citizen?
I think she got married around summer, so like 5 months or something like that.
So she got married 5 months. She married a U.S. citizen 5 months after you and she got divorced.
Well, but we got separated like in the October prior. So we got separated like say in October or September, something like that. And then she married.
On paper, she got married to a second person, a U.S. citizen, 4 or 5 months after her divorce from you was final.
Roughly, something like that, yeah.
Okay. And then she got a 2-year green card, and then a 10-year green card, and then her citizenship, right?
Correct. I mean, I would assume so, yes.
Did she get her citizenship on the 3-year rule or the 5-year rule?
3-year rule, I believe.
How long after becoming a citizen did she get divorced?
Roughly 2.5, 3 years later.
Okay. And did she have any kids with that person?
No, she did not.
Okay. So USCIS is going to think that you and she were sitting around one day back when you were in your first marriage, and you said, I've got this crappy asylum case. It's pending. I filed it more than a year after I arrived. You're here on a student visa. You don't have anything. And we're together. What we should do is get divorced, and one of us should marry a U.S. citizen and get a green card and citizenship that way. And then as soon as we get our citizenship, then we can get that you can divorce. One of us can get divorced from that U.S. citizen and then sponsor the other one for a green card. Mm-hmm. That's what they're going to think has happened. So I believe that you're going to have a pretty high hurdle to prove to them that didn't happen. You're going to have to prove that you didn't have this evil scheme, that you got divorced for real reasons, that you got back together for real reasons, that you weren't really lovers the whole time she was married to the U.S. citizen, and that you guys didn't trick the U.S. citizen into marrying her so that she could get a green card and then her citizenship so that she can get you immigration status.
I got you. And by proving, you mean that'll be a stocks interview?
I think lots of things. I think there's lots of different ways to prove it. I mean, one is you're going to have to go after the U.S. citizen and see if they'll help. You're going to have to prove that that first marriage was real. You're going to have to do a Freedom of Information Act request to get the old files, see what's in their notes, see what's on file. I mean, you have a deportation order.
Right.
You've been given withholding, which is like barely anything, but they're looking for ways to screw people. So I think you're going to have a very high hurdle. I think this is not going to be an easy case.
Okay.
And I think that at or around the time when you get your interview with your spouse, they're going to go talk to that first spouse and try to figure out whether Alex was hanging around during your marriage. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to talk to.
I'm sorry, I cut you off, Jim. During her marriage, I mean, the way we got back together, she kind of called me like crying and like if she can come over. I mean, I realized that something happened, so she came over, and that her ex showed up, screaming all crazy, left her like nasty voicemails. So she called the cops. But by the time cops came, he left, and he like bent her license plate and left something under her windshield or something. So he's like went all crazy when she left him.
Yeah. So when they knock on his door, he's going to say, "Oh yeah, there are a couple of Russians."
Of course.
Yeah. So I think this is a very, very tough case. I think the chances of success are less than 20%.
Okay. All right. But so you're saying we should file that for the FOIA, see what's in there, go from there.
For sure. Yep.
Okay. And my other question was,
yeah.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
My other question was like with my status with withholding of removal. I have no criminal record, no DUIs, nothing like that. So with this new administration approach with the third country removals, what do you think like potential of me getting dragged into this?
It's hard to say because I haven't heard stories of them going back to revisit old withholding orders. But if they get this funding that they're asking for in this bill, and as they try to ramp up to meet Trump's quotas, I think everything is going to be fair game, and anything is possible.
Okay.
So they'd have to go back to court and get the withholding canceled at that point. Hopefully, you have an approved I-130. But I think this is not good.
You mean my first question not good? You're talking about?
I think overall you're in a tough situation. That's what I'm saying.
I got you. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you.
Hi, Alex. See you, buddy. Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's see if Hina's got some questions for us from TikTok. Oh, only 2 so far. TikTok, if you want to leave us a question, just leave it in the comments. We'll pull it up. You don't have to post it more than once. Eddie, I made a mistake and sent all my original documents to USCIS, but now I need to take them to the interview. What can I do? Well, I think you just have to go to the interview and tell them that that's what you did and hope that they have them. Otherwise, there's a process to try to get those back, but it's going to be almost impossible. All right, my husband put a DVRO on me. I guess that's a domestic violence restraining order on me. Will that stop his unlawful presence waiver? No, but it'll put a hole in it. If there's a domestic violence charge, that's going to make the couple less sympathetic and make the chances of a waiver getting approved lower. Anzi Wiwi, what are the hurdles if you were to marry an asylum seeker being a citizen yourself? I have a whole video on this. Check out the YouTube station. When an asylum seeker, it's told from the other perspective, but when a asylum seeker marries a U.S. citizen, what happens? That's what that video is about. So just check out our YouTube channel. For those of you who haven't seen our YouTube channel, we've got thousands of videos answering immigration questions. We also have all 860 prior episodes of this show. You can learn a lot about immigration by watching the show and listening to the adventures of others. Kiss my grits. Kiss my grits. That's Flo from Alice, and she would say that to Mel at Mel's Diner. What does order jail commitment mean? I don't know. Doesn't sound good. I mean, it sounds like a state court thing, so I don't really know about that. Vijua, would DUI down to reckless driving from 2016 affect my husband's green card application under HR 875? I don't know what HR 875 is. But most likely if it got reduced to reckless driving and it was 9 years ago, it should be okay. All right. Anonymous, then interview scheduled, then Dan, then I-90 green card renewal. Anonymous, hello.
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Oh, great. Sorry if I'm all over the place. I'm really emotional and nervous right now. I guess starting from the beginning, I was born in the United States and my husband was born in Mexico. And at age 6, he was brought over without inspection. Years later, he ended up getting I think it's a DUI, probably about a decade ago, and finished that up. And then a few years ago, we met, and he was still in removal proceedings at that time. And we ended up filing for cancellation of removal, and we were successful last year.
Right on.
And thank you. It was a really scary battle, but
You must have had a good lawyer.
We had an amazing lawyer. She put our case together in 6 months. And some health issues and having children really kind of helped put it all together too. But
sure.
I guess yesterday I found out about this bill that they're passing, or they're trying to pass, with the new immigration changes where a DUI would make him ineligible. And of course, from the cancellation case, we don't have the green card yet. We are the judge has the intent to approve it, and the prosecution withheld they retained their right to appeal it, I guess. I don't know the legal terminology, but now that this DUI thing is on the table, and we're extremely nervous that this could mess everything up that we worked for, and we don't really know what to do.
Okay, so a couple things. One is I haven't read the bill yet, so I'm not familiar with the provisions generally. Now, usually, well, it's hard. Usually when statutes are passed, they don't generally apply retroactively. Now, yours is a tricky one because you're waiting so the judge from the bench said, I'm going to approve this cancellation case, and then you're just waiting for a visa to become available because there's only 3,000 or 5,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and this was just last fall. So the last cancellation we had took about 3 years to actually get the green card, to get the whole case finalized. So, I mean, I understand being worried and scared. I think that you would have a lot of arguments against it. What year did he come to the United States?
1999.
Okay. So he had more than the 10 years he needed when the DUI occurred. So that's good. I think they're going to have a hard time applying this retroactively to your husband. Not saying that they couldn't or wouldn't try, but I think generally, if I were you, I would say to myself, number one, I don't know if this is going to pass. Number two, if it passes, I don't think it's going to apply backwards. Number three, if they do try to apply it backwards to our case, there are legal arguments that you have, I think, to combat that. I don't think it's a done deal just because they say it. I think that, and again, I haven't read the bill, but there could be arguments that, well, this only applies to DUIs that happen after this happened. Now, generally, they can do things retroactively because immigration is technically civil, but I think a good lawyer could could push back very hard on this, and I think you would have the winning argument, is what I'm saying.
That's really good and reassuring to hear. Um, I'm wondering if, because we also had a really good criminal attorney that we used that kind of helped us work through some other, like he had a citation that we were able to overturn after almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if it would be worth our while to go after that avenue as soon as possible to try to overturn the DUI after 10 years.
I'm always up for that. That's one of my favorite things. Hold on, let me see this thing. Okay, so this is a House bill that's pending in the Senate right now. The bill makes driving while intoxicated or impaired a ground for barring a U.S. national from admission into the United States or deporting the individual. The bar to admission shall apply to an individual who's been convicted of the offense or has admitted to having. Okay. And there must be a conviction. Yeah, I think going after, I mean, that's always a good immigration and criminal lawyer's best trick of all, is trying to undo the conviction. Now, immigration-wise, you have to be careful. There has to be a legal reason under state law to undo the conviction. I'm sure whatever criminal defense attorney you work with would understand it, but you don't want to go running into court saying, oh, this is just so that we can keep him from getting deported. You have to have, like the last time I did one of these, the actual statute upon which my client had been convicted had been thrown out by the Missouri Supreme Court. So you and your attorneys are going to have to try to figure out a way. Maybe your husband wasn't advised of the immigration consequences of the DUI plea. That would be a real good avenue to attack the conviction itself. But I like the way you're thinking overall, is that if we can get this thrown out, even though it's been 10 years, depending on what state you're in, and you don't have to tell me, but depending on what state you're in and what the prosecutor's like, sometimes the prosecutors are willing to work with you. Sometimes, they love Donald Trump and they want to screw you. So you just got to sort of take that as it comes. But attacking the underlying conviction for reasons of a state law purpose would be helpful.
Yeah, and I guess my only other concern is, of course, when we were in court, they did ask us about his conviction, and I don't think either of us recall what type of admissions that he's made on the record. So I don't know if that would be something that we could strike off the record, or.
I would not worry about that. I think if you get the conviction thrown out for other reasons, based on my experience, they haven't worked that hard to then try to go back and say, well, he admitted it. Now they could do that, but I think that's pretty unlikely.
Okay, that's very reassuring, because there's a lot of little steps to take, but every little step that we can kind of eliminate and say that's not a big risk, it's very helpful. So I really appreciate you taking my call, and I do feel a lot better now.
I hope so. Just hang in there. Keep an eye on things. I'll keep an eye on this thing too. Okay.
Thank you. Will do.
Okay. That's a very smart lady. Did you see all the things she's doing? And can you hear the love of her husband and how much hard work they've done? But of course, these people in DC don't care about any of that stuff. Interview scheduled. Hello. Interview scheduled. We can't hear you. Hello. All right. We're going to go to Dan, and maybe we'll come back to interview scheduled. Hi, Dan. And then we'll go to I-90 green card renewal, then Giga. Go ahead, Dan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. So I just had a few questions, CRBA related. For the purposes of legitimation, does the date of legal marriage matter, being before or after the date of birth or conception?
I don't know. What are you trying to do?
Okay, is there like a resource, like an instruction resource on USCIS in terms of
Well, it's not a USCIS question. It's a Department of State question. So you have a child that was the couple married at the time the couple was born? At the time that the child was born, was the couple married? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. But they weren't married at the time the child was conceived?
Yes.
Father's name's on the birth certificate?
Yes.
I think you're fine.
Okay. And then
What
for
embassy?
children, Rio.
Oh yeah, I think you'll be fine.
Okay. And then do you think in that situation it would be, I don't, is it even possible? And if it is, would it be beneficial in any way to do the N600 as well for that child?
Always a good idea once the kid is here to do an N600. Always a good idea to nail down their record. They'll appreciate it that you did that for the rest of their lives.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Jim.
That was easy. Have a good day. All right. Let's go to I-90 green card renewal. Hello.
Hello, Jim. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little soft. If you talk a little louder, that'd be great.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had a question about my green card is going to expire on September 2nd. It's a 10-year-old green card. I intend to file an I-90, but when I was reading the instructions, I didn't find where I should pay for the biometrics part. Do I pay for the biometrics after I file the I-90? I pay for the I-90, and then the biometrics will, like when I go there, will be paid.
No, I mean, I think that last year when they redid all the fees, they sort of took out that distinction of paying for the filing fee separate from the biometrics. But let's see. We're going to look at the fee schedule. I-90, general filing. Yeah, you don't pay extra for biometrics anymore. So it's just $465 if you're doing it on paper, $415 if you're doing it online. That's it.
And you, I think I've seen you previously say that paper is better than online. Is that
Yeah,
still
but
the opinion?
so believe it or not, I'm starting to come around on that. We're actually working this summer on trying to see if we can start doing what I would call relatively simple applications, and certainly an I-90 would be in there. I'd give it a shot. Save yourself some money. I think they're getting better at processing things that are simple and online, so I'm okay with that.
Okay, thank you. My second question is, I'll travel outside the country and I'll be outside of the borders of the United States when the green card expires. Is the notice of action, the I-797C, along with the expired green card, be sufficient to allow me entry into the U.S.?
When does the green card expire?
September 2nd.
And you're getting ready to apply now?
Yes, I have finished like every question and I'm just ready to like send it.
Yeah, so file it online. When you get your receipt notice back, then call USCIS and tell them I need to make an InfoPass appointment because I have my I-90 on file. Here's my case number, but I need to leave the United States and I want to get a 551 stamp in my passport.
Oh, actually, that was my third question. Is like, can I go get an AD stamp?
Yep.
ID stamp.
This
Yeah,
is
okay.
Yep. But you have to pay the fee, file the form, get the receipt back, and then you can get the stamp.
Okay. Well, thank you. My last question is, I have a ticket that was dismissed by a judge for it was like turning in New York City. There's this turn slide, and the machine didn't work after I swiped the card. Anyway, the officer gave me a ticket. I went to the transit court, and the judge saw that the card was swiped, and he dismissed the ticket. Is this going to be something that the border guards, the ICE, or I think CBP, is going to be like, you can't enter the U.S. because you have like a criminal record type thing?
No, I don't think so at all.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, by the way, thank you for all your help that you've given to everybody.
Sure.
That's all I have.
Have a good day. All right. Let's go to Giga. Hello.
Hi, Jim. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Jim, I'm a VAWA applicant, and I actually had requested like expedite processing for my VAWA, and I had sent in physical like copies and proofs and letters from my doctors and other like social workers, and I sent that to Nebraska Service Center where my VAWA application is. I've not received anything like communication wise back from them, and like I tried calling USCIS hotline. I've contacted multiple different agents through Infopass, and every agent like tells something different. And then one agent said they're gonna uh, do the expedite request like through the phone, and said that they will call me within 10 days, but nobody called. And then eventually they rejected my uh, request, saying that like I never gave them the evidence and proof. So I'm in a really, really tough spot right now, and I really need this thing taken care of. So I don't know how to do it.
Why should your VAWA case go faster than anybody else's in line ahead of you?
So I've been diagnosed with PTSD and multiple other medical conditions, and my doctor, like I don't have access to my doctors anymore due to my loss of my Medicaid, because they canceled and rejected my Medicaid, uh, like since I'm not a citizen, and they're telling me that I need to wait 5 years. And I've been homeless for like now 7 months. I haven't eaten properly like in the last 4 months, and my I need like access to like medication. So
Okay.
it's
I'm
really
sorry.
extreme.
Yep. I'm sorry you're going through all that. They don't care. So I think all the frustration and efforts you've made to try to get them to expedite it is not going to help things. I don't think they're going to expedite it. Most
Even
cases,
if I die,
no. Even if you die, no. They don't care. They don't. All I care about all the things that you just said, but they don't care. They don't expedite cases, and they sure don't expedite VAWA cases. I mean, you just presented a very compelling case for expediting to me, and if I were in charge of expediting, I would expedite it. The things that you said are very compelling, but they don't care, which is why they didn't expedite it, because they don't expedite cases. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
but I think the reason that they gave me was I didn't provided them the proof and the documentation.
But did
That's
you?
what.
But did you?
Yes, yes.
So they're lying. You're proving my point. They play games. They say, "Oh, we'll expedite it," then they never do. They say, "Oh, thanks for asking for it to be expedited. Oh, you never filled out, you provided us any evidence." That's my point. They have lots of ways to avoid expediting someone's case.
And I need like help. Like, how do I ensure that I'm able to like provide them the documentation that they're requesting? Because
I
sometimes
don't.
they ask me to upload
You
documents online.
I don't know what to tell you, because I don't do expedite requests. Our firm doesn't do expedite requests because they don't work. So I don't know what to tell you. You can try 17 different ways to give them documentation. They're not going to expedite it. That's what you need to get through your head. I'm sorry. That's a tough situation. Someone said, "Oh, a minute ago it said interview in 2 hours. Now it says interview in 1 hour. Hello, interview in 1 hour. I can't hear you. You might be on headsets or something, but it's not working. We'll come back. We're going to go over to Tarek and then Mary, and then we'll go back to interview. Hello, Tarek.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time of your day. I just have a few questions. I have my green card based on marriage interview, and next Monday actually, and I just wanna clarify if I have enough evidence to prove that my marriage is bona fide. So the list that I have is I have a car loan statement that is joint, like me and her. I have a joint tax return, apartment lease, affidavit of support, car insurance, rental insurance, joint bank account. We have photos, videos, and text proof, and we also have a baby on the way. So, is that enough evidence for them, or would you suggest any more to add?
Where are you from, Tarek?
I'm from Somalia,
And when did you come to the United States?
2014.
And what kind of a visa did you have?
Student visa.
Student visa? Okay. And when you got married, were you in status or out of status?
In status.
Okay, so you've never been out of status?
No.
Okay, good. And how long did you know your spouse before you got married?
Around 9 months, almost a year.
Okay. And have either of you been married before?
No.
And do you have medical records for the coming baby?
Oh, I mean, what kind of medical record should I provide?
Like your wife's, if she's gone to see the doctor to show that she's pregnant?
Yeah. We do have that. We just have to print it out, but we do have it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're good. I think that's good. I think
Yeah.
based on what you said, I would give you
Yeah.
like 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. So I think that's pretty good. I'm going
Okay.
to post in the comments
Yeah.
where people can go. Oh, see, Hina just posted it. Thank you, Hina.
Okay.
So if you want to see our complete list, the one that we give to our
Yeah.
clients, you can click on it right there in the comments, and that'll
Okay.
take you to the marriage evidence list for the other ideas.
Okay, thank you so much, Jim. I just have one follow-up question. So
Sure.
for these documents that I have, some of them, okay, so my last name is comprised of two names. So like if my last name is like XY, like two names is as one. But some of these documents have only one part of my last name. That's what I usually go by. By my legal last name is two names. Is
Like your
that will that be an issue?
like your legal last name says Abdul Wahid, and then but you
Y-
go
y-
around as Tariq Wahid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that should be okay. You can prove up that you're both people. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Make sure that you put on the 45 that you go by that other name. And that should be fine.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate your time.
Good luck. Let us know how the interview goes, okay, Tarek?
Will do. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, buddy. All right. Hina's got some more TikTok questions for me. Any updates on EB4 religious backlog? No updates on that. RP, how does it look if you switch from being sponsored to no sponsor because of 40 work credits, I-45? I think that would be hard to pull off. I think once you start down the sponsorship track, they're going to hold you to it. My Iranian sister came to the U.S. on B1, B2 for second time in October and filed for asylum in January. She's waiting for an interview now. Should she be worried? Well, sure. Anybody who's applying for asylum should be worried. It's tough these days, but she'll probably get her interview pretty quickly, so make sure she's ready. Elsa, I'm a U.S. citizen and my husband's in Mexico. I've never been here. Waiting on I-130. Is there a way to expedite? See the prior discussion on expediting. Sarah 1999H1. My K1 visa is at the National Visa Center. I'm from a country with a travel ban. Are they still processing K1? NBC will, but you won't get a visa. You need to get married. Sarah, we talked about this on yesterday's show. So go back and watch yesterday's show. We talked that all through. It is Paul. I'm in the Army and my N400 was denied. I'm trying to get my I-751, but I'm divorced from my ex-wife. What can I do? Hire a lawyer. We can help you with that, Paul. We can help you with the new 751 and the N400. You might have to wait a little bit to get that all cleared up and then go for naturalization. The Contrarian, 10-year green card, Jamaican passport, out of the U.S. for 11 months. I have a felony. Will the U.S. let me back in? What in the hell are you thinking, being outside the United States with a felony and staying out more than 6 months? That was really stupid. Will they let you back in? Maybe. They might put you in removal too. They might send you back home. Estris Real, I have a interview tomorrow with my marriage. Is it safe to go without them detaining me? Do you have a deportation order? Are you out of status? What's the deal? That's a hard question to answer. Depends on what your status was. Bad Karma, can you handle an NOID? So an NOID is a notice of intent to deny. Sure. Bad Karma, email it to us, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Say I'm Bad Karma. I was watching Jim's show. I got this notice of intent to deny. I'd like to talk to somebody about it. Send it on over and we'll see if we can help. Bad Karma. Thanks. Okay, let's see if interview in 1 hour got their audio working. Hello, are you there? That sucks. Sorry about that. Let's go to Mary. Hi, Mary. You're on mute.
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great.
So here's the situation. I'm from Senegal, and I came in the U.S. in 2015 with a A2 visa. So I went to college here, and while I was in college, I tried to change my status from A2 to F1, but it got denied. So right after graduation, I was getting ready to go home, and then I met a Senegalese who is also a U.S. citizen like me. He told me that I have to stay here so that we can get married, so I could get the green cards and all that. So we got married, and it was a bona fide marriage at the same time. And for like 2 years, then I got pregnant, and he was being very abusive to me, so much so that he canceled uh, my green card interview without letting me know. So I had to find out on my own that it was the case was denied because they asked me to come for the interview and I didn't show up. So later on, we filed for divorce, and in 2022, that's when I had to file for the VAWA. Now the thing is, it's been going on for 3 years at this point. I still haven't heard anything from them. I filed for the I-360 and I-765. And yeah, the I-765 is the one that I'm worried the most about. Unfortunately, the attorneys that have been handling it have not been really helpful in that situation. So right now, I'm trying to see any possible course of actions I can take, especially for the I-765, because I live with my parents right now, and they're getting ready to go home, and I'll be here with my son. So that's, yeah, so I'm just trying to see. And at the same time, I also was told to file for the green card, so maybe that could help them look into my I-360 and make a decision about it. Yeah, I did it like a few months ago, but yeah, so far all I'm getting is the renewed prima facie letters.
Yep. How long has the I-360 been on file?
It was in May of 2022.
May. Okay. And have you ever gotten a work authorization off your VAWA case?
No, I only got it when my ex-husband filed for the green card for me.
Okay. And have you done a Freedom of Information Act request on your file to see if he said anything bad about you?
No, honestly, I have not.
Okay. And so how many months total has the 360 been on file?
I would say 38 months, about 38 months soon. Yeah.
So 3 years and a couple months?
Yes.
Where do you live?
I'm in Maryland right now.
I would have us file a lawsuit to try to get them to decide the 360. It should only take about a year and a half or 2 years. So you're well beyond the normal processing times for that. I would sue them to try to get them to adjudicate the 360. And then if they adjudicate the 360, you should be able to get the work card.
Okay. Because I asked someone who's been working in immigration issues, and then she told me that, given the political climate right now, if I try to sue, it might not go well for me. So that's what got me a little scared.
We sue them all the time. They don't take it personally. We're not asking for anyone to get fired. We're just asking them to do their job. And the Baltimore field office is one of the best places that we sue. The U.S. attorneys that we deal with in Maryland, we like a lot. So I would at least consider it. Yeah. So send over your paperwork with the 360 to the office, info@hackinglaw.com, and then we can go from there. Tell me you were on the show with me. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Mary. When my very first client, actually, my very first immigration client was from Senegal. So I always have a soft spot in my heart for Senegal, just like I do for Jamaica and all the Yardies. I haven't seen Donna in the show yet, but you never know. Big ups to all the Yardies. I'm sure we got some watching. This is the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. If you have a minute and can go to reviewhackinglaw.com, leave us a 5-star review. We would appreciate it. I'm going to go to EMA next. Hello, EMA. Hello. You're on mute, EMA. All right. No EMA. We'll remove them. Let's go to Mark. Hello, Mark. Mark, are you there? Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Hey, go ahead.
Hey Jim, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Jim, I'm very well. Thank you for taking my call. I've been to United States for many years. I've been here on the student visa. I've been here on the tourist visa, and then I came back in 2003. From tourist visa, we changed with our wife to L1, L2 visa till 2012. Basically, the I-485 was denied, and then obviously we lost status. Then I went through the immigration court, and once they tried to put me in the removal proceedings in 2014, the case was closed. So I get back my employment authorization. So now my youngest son is in college and he's 21 years old. I'm not married anymore, and my question is, what's the procedure? Can I just right now submit I-130, I-485 once I get receipt I can do the motion with the lawyer to basically terminate my case?
How did you get out of immigration court? How did you not get deported?
How I had a lawyer, it was 2014, 2015, and basically I got the basic after free hearings decision that the case was closed.
Closed. So were proceedings terminated? Did you get admin closure? What was the status of the deportation?
It basically says that. Well, it basically says that upon the request of both sides, the case was closed.
Closed is the word they used. They didn't say dismissed.
Yeah, they use the word closed on the letter from the court. Yes.
That's strange to me. But okay. It's also strange they would agree to close it. So if I were you, this is what I would do. I would do a Freedom of Information Act request, or I'd have a lawyer do it so that it goes to the lawyer's address, not yours. I'd have a lawyer do a Freedom of Information Act request to track down your court case and figure out exactly what the posture was of your deportation. And then it sounds like maybe that there is no immigration court case pending against you right now. And if that's true, then you could file the I-130 and the 485 together. If it's not true, then you have to file the I-130 first, then go back to court, reopen it, and then try to adjust in court or ask them to terminate so you can adjust with USCIS.
Okay, so basically, if it says that the case was closed, it doesn't mean so it can be dismissed, but can be terminated, or I possibly I'm still in removal proceedings, right?
Right. That's what I think. Yeah.
I mean, the case is that I had the time a lawyer, and she changed kind of she helped me a lot when they came basically looking for me one day. I wasn't at home, and then I just went to the USS for USCIS for interview. They basically said you were illegal since 2003, which wasn't true. I had all the status till 2012 on the L2 visa. And yeah, then it happened, but I lost the status. But
Yeah.
after that, I could get employment authorization after the court decision, but I never was able to travel outside of the country.
So I wonder if you don't have withholding or something. There's too many questions to say. I would not file the I-130 and the 45 together. In fact, I wouldn't have your son file the I-130 until I felt like I had a good handle. I would do a Freedom of Information Act request from the court to get your whole court file, and I'd get one from USCIS. And then I would look at everything, and then I would decide how to proceed.
I see. So
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jim.
Yep. Let's go to interview scheduled. Hello.
Hey Jim, can you hear me now?
Yeah, sound good.
Yeah, sorry, my call got dropped earlier.
Yeah, no worries. What's up? What do you got scheduled?
So I have my interview scheduled for a marriage-based green card case.
Okay.
And it's like the interview is scheduled within 2 months of like filing my case. So I was like, is that a good thing or bad thing? I don't know.
we're seeing that more and more. So I don't think you can say it's good or bad. I just think it's just how they're doing some cases right now.
Okay, and I have just like one question regarding like my affidavit of support. So my wife filed affidavit of support, and she's a teacher, and her current income is like with family of two, it's about 200% of the poverty line. But we are expecting a baby. So does that change anything for USCIS or not?
It should be just fine. And 98% of affidavit support cases, the affidavit support is taken care of before you get to your interview. So it probably won't come up at your interview.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering like if I take like another affidavit of support from anyone else, or it's just
You
fine.
could, but that's probably overkill.
Okay, all right. Just just wanted to check like if 2 months it's like too soon, I think.
Yeah, no, that they're doing that on probably 30% of the cases are getting very fast interviews.
All right, yeah. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Couple more quick TikTok questions. Wasma, can I be eligible for bond with a felony 5? That I can't answer that. I don't know. It depends what the felony's for. Aviator dude, been 7 months after documented qualified, still waiting on interview. Rio de Janeiro, is that normal wait time? Yeah, I think you probably got another month or two, but people in the comments might have different thoughts. Alex, I've been married for a year to a U.S. citizen and I have DACA. Should I start this legal process ASAP? Bro, you should have started it 11 months ago. I don't know what you're waiting for. I wouldn't say that any of this is ASAP. All right. EMA, hello. Oh, Kevin in the comments or in TikTok, Hina says that you want to hire us. The way to hire us is to send us an email, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Just say you're Kevin and you're watching the show, or call the office 314-961-8200. All right, I'm going to do one more call, and it's going to be, let's see. Where'd that go? Mizu, hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Mizu. Go ahead. Mizu, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, hello, Jim. How are you?
Good. Go ahead.
Please, I have a question. Okay. From Chad. Okay, I just got my green card lately. Just about 2 months ago.
Congratulations.
And so, is it safe to go home and come back because Chad is also has been listed. Chad is one of the banned country that's been listed. Yeah.
My advice for everybody who is not a U.S. citizen is to stay in the United States.
Okay. This is only my question. Thank you.
Bye, buddy. All right, everyone. That'll do it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow. Not sure exactly what time. Probably around tomorrow's Wednesday. Probably around 2 o'clock, and I'll be outside. Probably won't be on TikTok, but we'll see. Probably 2 o'clock tomorrow, Mountain Time. So that's 3 o'clock Central. Hope you guys all have a great night. Hina, thank you for your help. Big ups to all the Yardies. Everybody be nice to each other. Have a good day, and fuck the power. Bye, guys. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.